Morning, 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 or actually afternoon here in Eastern Standard Time. Hello, everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Say hello when you pop in so that I can see your beautiful, I would say faces, but it would be names. Hello, hello. So today I am going to be putting together a really super cute snowman attachment. Now, as of this live on October 11th, we do have these kits still available in our shop at uniqueinthecreek.com. Okay, so as of October 11th, so if you're watching the replay, it may not be available, but you can buy this stuff separately if you wish. Hello, hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, Judy Baker. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Teresa. Hi, everybody. For my Canadian Creekers, I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I know I did. We had a beautiful dinner. Lots of fun. My family is just absolutely crazy. You guys think I'm crazy? You have to see my whole family together. We are absolutely loco. But we have so much fun. We have a lot of fun. So let's get this started. So for this wreath, I am using one roll of white snowdrift mesh. This is snowdrift and it's got some metallic lines in between. So snowdrift mesh. I'm using these fabulous ribbons that I put together for you guys. This I love. It is a 2.5 inch red sparkle on black canvas with white snowflakes as well. Really beautiful. And I paired it up with the matching red sparkly 7/8 or 5/8. What is it? 5/8 inch ribbon. It too is very sparkly. I love these two together. Wait till you see what I do with them. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm using this 5-piece Snowman plush set. Okay, so you do get 2 legs in here. You got this fabulous head with some scarf. I love plush sets. They make wreaths really fun. And you don't have to add a ton to it. So he's really cute. I know snowmen are super, super popular. He also comes with 2 little hands. 2 little hands. Okay, so that makes up the 5-piece. And we're also going to use this awesome let it snow sign. So you can see we're getting some kind of theme here. We got the same snowflakes on our ribbon and everything, right? Got a matchy-matchy. Not always need to be matchy-matchy, but sometimes it's easy and fun, right? Of course, you get the zip ties, you get your clippers, and you get a large board. So I have started preparing everything, and I'm going to go through with you guys how to prepare everything. That way everything is ready to go, and it's literally just putting the wreath together. Hi, Dawn Lad. How are you? So we're just going to put this little snowman plushie away for a second because we don't need him right away. Say goodbye to your friends, Mr. Snowman. Alrighty. We'll just put him on the side. Our sign. Now there's 2 ways you can put your sign on. You can use a cable mount with a pipe cleaner, which is included in the kit. And you can just mount your sign. If you use the cable tie and pipe cleaner, you can just put it right in the center. However, I am going to use and take advantage of the jute string that is attached to my sign. And this is a tin sign. And I'll attach it right to the board. And I'm going to use my pipe cleaner because I'm going to put a bow on him underneath the sign. So I'm going to save my cable mount for another project, and I'm going to use the pipe cleaner for my bow. Okay, so we're going to zip tie his sign on. But like I said, if you want, you can put the cable mount right in the middle, glue it on, the cable mount, glue it on to the center of the sign, and you can put it right through the 2 center holes. Now I would suggest, if you're doing it that method, that you do use hot glue and E6000 or DAP or Gorilla Super Glue, something else with the hot glue. The hot glue will keep the cable mount on temporarily, and the E6000, once it's dried, will keep it on permanently. Hello everybody. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to zip tie mine on, so I will be doing this at the end. Now, the first thing I want you to do, and I'm going to zoom down, and you guys can take a screenshot of this. Let me move it up so you get a good vision. Okay, I've marked the back of my board. Usually I do it on the front. However, when you do it on the front and you put all your mesh and everything on, it's really hard to figure out what, oh, it's out of stock already? Oh, people must have been buying it this morning. It's been on since last week. So usually as soon as I'm going to do live, people go on and jump on and buy them. So I apologize for that, but you can purchase these items separately. I don't think I have any Snowman, but I will be coming out next week. Oh, it just sold out. Okay, thanks, Tina. Next week, if you didn't miss the Snowman, I have something similar with an elf. Okay, 2 elves, 2 different ones. Anyways, let's get back to this. So what I've done on the bottom, or on the back of my board, is I actually wrote on the back of my board. So right here, these 2 holes right here are your hanging holes, and this is your top, okay? This is where we're going to put hanger when we're done. The 2 holes right below the hanging holes is where I'm going to put a zip tie and zip tie the jute string for my sign, okay? And then the right and left side of the 2 holes that I marked my sign, I marked an H and an H. My head, the two bottom pieces of our head, there's my head, because there is 3 pieces. The 2 bottom pieces right here of the head are going to go into those 2 holes. All right. And then I move down on row 2 and right directly in the center. So you go this way. So if you count 1, 2, 3 from the head, I'm putting a hand here, 1, 2, 3, and I'm putting a hand here. So I'll know my hands are going to be directly opposite each other. And then still on row 2, right down the middle. So you can actually make your middle, like down the middle this way, down the middle this way. There's right in the middle where it says patent pending, although the new boards will have the actual patent number on them. So this is an older board. Our patent number will be there because we did get our patent. So this hole is, we're leaving it blank, and then the 2 holes beside it will be for our legs. So if you want to go ahead and screenshot that, I will try and make a template of it so you guys can do it just like me. So, and then once you're done, you can rub, I believe Dave said WD-40. If you scrub a lot with alcohol wipes, I just use Goo Gone, and I just use it in a little paper towel and wipe all my Sharpie marker off. And that way nobody sees, you know, especially if you're selling it, nobody sees your little pattern on your board. Okay, so the sign is going here. This is our hanging holes. The 2 bottom head pieces are going here. Our hands are going here, and our legs are going here. Everything will be parallel and matching, okay? So once you got your board marked, you're gonna then cut your mesh, the whole roll of mesh, your whole roll of mesh at 12 inches, okay? Your whole roll of mesh at 12 inches. Alrighty, so we are going to be using row 1. I am going to be using 16 pieces. 16 pieces of the 12-inch mesh. Okay? We're skipping row 2. Row 2 is where you're going to be attaching your pieces of your snowman, but we're not putting any mesh or ribbon in row 2. Okay? Row 3, we're going to be doing 8 pieces of 12-inch mesh. And row 4, we're not doing anything. Row 5, we're doing 4 pieces. So you need a total of 28 pieces of mesh. And I divided 28 into 360 inches because there is 10 yards on a roll of mesh. And I still have some left, quite a bit left over just in case I need some more. So I divided 28 into 360, which gave me 12 inches and a little bit. So I decided I'm cutting my mesh at 12 inches because I hate having leftover mesh. I hate, especially little rolls like this. I'd rather use it in the wreath somewhere. Okay, now your ribbon. On row 1, you are going to need 8 pieces at 14 inches of the 2.5 inch, and you're going to need 8 pieces at 14 inches of the 5/8 inch. Okay, that's row 1. And then row 3, we're going to be using 8 pieces at 14 inches of both. Okay, for a total of 16 pieces at 14 inches of the black snowflake. And then we're going to be using 16 pieces at 14 inches of the 5/8 inch ribbon. All right, at 14 inches. So I've cut some of mine. I need to cut 4 more. So I've already cut 12 pieces of my ribbon. Okay, and we will be using the ribbon on row 1 and row 3. So I will be putting this on the edited tutorial when it gets posted onto YouTube, okay? So I'm going to use my Measure Buddy, and however you can measure your ribbons, the Measure Buddy measures from 8 inches all the way out to 20 inches in 1 inch increments. Thank you for sprinkling me. I appreciate that. I'm pulling out number 1 all the way to 14 inches because that's what we need our ribbon tails for at 14. So I need 4 more pieces of ribbon tails at 14 inches. So what I'm going to do, now they have a clip. I very rarely use the clip. However, we'll use the clip just to use it properly if you want. The clip on the Measure Buddy is there should you want to use it and not have to hold your ribbon here. Now, I have a habit of just holding my ribbon anyways, but the clip is there for your use, and you actually get 2 clips. The second clip is just a extra, okay? We need 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? I am going to cut this ribbon off. Now this ribbon's pretty thick. It is a nice canvas ribbon. So I only went 4 times around, and you'll do that 4 times for 16 pieces, right? So I've just, now there is a slit at the end of the Measure Buddy that you slide your scissors in to cut the edge. However, you could also just slide it right off, but all the ends up together. And this is a little cheater thing that I do when I'm dovetailing my ribbons, instead of cutting the edges and doing it each, ribbon singular or double, I am going to flip this over in half horizontally right down the middle, just like this. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut from the folded edge to the outside corner. And that gives me our nice dovetailed ribbons. Now this side I didn't cut whatsoever. I didn't cut it down the middle, but I'm just going to fold it over, again doing the same thing as I did. Cut from the folded edge to the outside corner. And we now have 4 pieces of ribbon tails. Okay, so we need 16 in total of this one, and we need 16 in total of the 5/8 one. So I just need 4 more of the 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut it off, slide it off. Now this 5/8 one, you can dovetail it. However, when I use the 5/8, most times I just like to cut it on a slant. Okay, so I'm just going to butt the edge up together. And instead of folding it or anything, I'm just going to cut from down one side up to the top corner of the other. So just slanting it like that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And now we have 4 separate pieces of our ribbon. Okay, so you need 16 of those and 16 of the black. And then after I do my ribbon and my mesh is all cut, I then prepare my ribbons to be ready to go for what I need it. So I need 8 pieces of single pieces of this ribbon for row 1. So I'm just going to fold all my ribbon pieces in half. Okay, we're just preparing to put our wreath together. Because once you do the preparing, it's really fast putting it together. So again, I'm just putting them all, folding them all in half. Okay, and make a nice little pile for yourself. So we got all in half. Now you're going to have 8 folded pieces. Put your 8 folded pieces to the side. Okay, and then your other 8 pieces, what you're going to do is open up 8 of them. You're going to take 8 of them and just pinch it down the middle where the fold is and flip it up. Okay, and just leave it. Do 8 of these, and we're preparing to put them into the wreath. So I just pre-do them before I get right into the wreath making. Okay, just like that. Isn't this ribbon pretty? I loved it when I saw it. So there's 4, and I already have 4 on there. So I'm going to put these 4 pieces just to the right of me because I am right-handed. I really have to clean up my mess here. I've been doing so many wreaths that I'm a complete mess. All right, so I got 4 of these folded to the side, and then I'm going to do, and you'll have 8, put 8 folded to the side, and then I'm going to do the 5/8 one exactly the same. Just fold it in half. Now again, I'm going to reiterate, you do not have to do your wreath like mine. There is many, many different ways you can do it. And you also can add stuff to it. If you want to add some ornaments that you have, you absolutely can, okay? Then I'm going to flip these up. And I'm just preparing these for row 1. So There we go. That's ready to go. Okay. So let's start making our wreath. My ribbons flopped open. Why did they flop open? I'll just use one of my handy dandy clothespins to keep them. Now, of course, you can do this as you're making your wreath and going along. I just find having everything prepared ahead of time definitely makes things go a lot faster. Hello, hello, everybody watching me. Yes, there's no text notifications anymore. Okay, so we're using our large board. I have started on row 1, and I only started because it's very repetitive and quite easy, okay? So we are using row 1. Normally, I don't really use row 1, but this is going to be, the wreath attachment is quite big. So when I want to make a bigger wreath, I do use row 1. And to use row 1, you're going to take your zip ties, okay? And you're going to have the flat part of the head of the zip tie facing up towards the ceiling, and you're going to put the zip tie down the hole, and we are going to be using the outside of the board. Okay, so when I come around to do my mesh and ribbon up, I will be using the hole on row 1 to the outside of the board. So I'm just going to preload my zip tie open, just like that. So it's sitting on your table in an L shaped, ready to go. Okay. Now on row 1, I did do a pattern of 2.5 inch. Sorry, my dogs. Somebody must be here. 2.5 inch, then the 5/8. 2.5 inch, 5/8, 2.5, just all the way around. If you like it when I'm done, you can do it like this, or you can do the 2.5 inch and the 5/8 inch in one piece and skip one. Do it in, again, 2.5 inch with the 5/8 in one piece and then skip one. I like to see the ribbons in its fullness, so I just decided to do, you know, 2.5 inch, 5/8, 2.5, 5/8, 2.5, 5/8. Row 3, we are going to be doing it a little different. Okay, so my next one is going to be one of my 5/8 of an inch. Okay, you're going to take one of your, oh good Lord, do I even bother with these two? Somebody must be here, or Amazon's dropping off. Anyways, okay, so you're going to take your 12-inch mesh pieces that you did. We're going to use it curl up, okay? So curl up means when you open it, it curls, it rocks back and forth. That's curl up. We are going to be using that the factory or finished edges are on the right and left hand side of me. And the cut edges I cut with my rotary cutter to cut my mesh are at the top and bottom, okay? We are going to do the kerfuffle. This is one of my favorite folds for a wreath of this type because you don't have to wood burn it and you won't see any of the strings on the Deco mesh, okay? So again, like I said, curl up. We're going to bring this bottom up towards, you know, guess about where the middle is, okay? And when you use snowdrift mesh, it's easy to make sure everything's lined up. You just have to match the drifts in the mesh, okay? Then you're going to take the top and bring it down about 1/2 inch or inch over the bottom piece, okay? Just like that. So you have an envelope type fold. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to pinch right up the middle, and you can tell where the middle is. There is a snowdrift going up the middle, and you have a bow tie type formation when you do that, okay? We're going to use this bow tie formation with the cut edge facing down on the table. Then you're going to take your, and this is why I flip my ribbons, you're going to take your ribbon and just put it right on the center, okay, of your mesh where you've pinched it, and the whole center piece is going right on top of the board, in between the hole and the outside of the board, just like that. And then you're going to come around and do your zip tie up. So it is good to have your zip tie facing the right way, and that's why I stress a lot about it facing the right way, because if it's not facing the right way, then you're fooling around with it, okay? Once you got your zip tie up, don't do it super tight until you absolutely make sure your two ribbon tails are the same size, and we want to have our mesh kind of folding to the outside of the board. So it's going to make our wreath look a lot bigger, okay? Once you have that done, you're gonna then pull that zip tie nice and tight. And we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, again, take your zip tie, make sure the flat part is facing up to the ceiling when you're putting it in. So you're just going to stick it in the hole, leave it facing, sitting on your table in your board. Take another piece of mesh, and this time we're going to be using a 2.5 inch. Fold the bottom up towards near the center. You just have to guess. Again, curl up with your factory edge on the right and left. Bring the bottom edge over top. So we got this envelope type thing. And then we're just gonna pinch it right up the middle by dragging your thumbs and pinching it with your forefinger. Okay, flip this down. Take your ribbon that's already flipped, put it right in the center of your mesh, and then you're going to put that whole middle right on the board and come around with your zip tie. Now I use zip ties a lot. I find them a lot neater looking, and they secure everything way better than pipe cleaners, and it's quite a lot neater on the back when you are finished. Okay, so we're going to make sure that both of our ribbon tails are the same length. Our mesh is kind of flipped out towards the outside, and once that's done, pull it tight. Okay, and I have the 2.5 inch kind of in behind my 5/8. So we're going to continue around row 1 doing just this. And that's why I pre-did some of it, because it is very repetitive. So see all that, because I didn't use a wood burn or anything, see all those strings? Well, those are going to be hidden with folding your mesh this method. Okay, and I need a 5/8. Scrunch right up the middle, flip it over. Take your ribbon, put it right in the center where you pinched your mesh. Put your mesh on the board, in between the head and the tail of the zip tie, and come around. Make sure they're the same. Make sure your mesh is facing outwards, and pull tight. Now you can cut your zip ties as you're going. However, I like to do them when I'm completely done. That way I only have to pick up my cutting tool once. So that saves you time as well. And next is black. ribbon in the middle, right in between the head and tail of your zip tie. Do it up. Make sure they're even. Make sure your mesh is kind of going towards the outside and pull tight. Pretty easy, eh? So you're doing every hole on row 1. Now when you get to the hanging holes, again, I'm not sure if you're going to get the new board or not, but on the new board, the hanging holes are moved a little bit. So it does, the distance between all of them are going to be exactly the same. But for this one, I'm just using a hanging hole because you won't be able to tell the difference. Again, I'm on a 5/8. Hello everybody. Thank you for joining me. We are making a Snowman Wreath Attachment wreath. And just take your time, because once you've done a couple of them, going around row 1, you don't have to really listen to my voice anymore. You can fast forward it until you get to row 3. Row 2 will be nothing. We're not putting anything in row 3. Now the wreath is getting quite large, and I'll try and keep it as much as I can in the view of the camera. I'm doing black. And I'm doing it upside down here so you guys can see. Come around. Again, like I said, don't zip it up too tight, and just in case you have to move your ribbons. But if you already pre-folded them and you put them right in the middle of the mesh, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be completely perfect, and you won't have to adjust your ribbons at all. Okay, we have one more, and we have one more folded 5/8. She is getting big. Now again, if you were to leave this project and come back to it like a week later, just leaving, you know, this one spot, you'll know exactly where you left off, which is really nice about the Unique in the Creek boards. And you can exactly price your wreaths properly, because you know exactly how much materials or supplies you've used. So we will not be using the full roll of each of these ribbons. However, you do get a full roll, but you can add more if you'd like. It's totally up to you. We'll see how much I have left of everything, because we might be able to add more ribbon tails. Okay, so I'm kind of just putting the 2.5 inch in behind the 5/8 inch. And there we go. So we're done row 1. All right, now we're going to go around and take our wire nippers and just cut off the zip tie tails. Alrighty. Now I'm skipping row 2. This is pretty, isn't it? I don't know if I can get this any bigger. There we go. Love, love, love this ribbon. We're skipping row 2. We are going from 1 to row 3. On row 3, you are going to preload the normal holes. The normal holes on row 3, which is you're going to go down and up and just close it until you hear the clicking and it's locked. Okay, so when you flip it over, this mesh likes to get caught on everything. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zip ties. Okay, and then on row 5, we're going to be adding the 4 normal holes on row 5. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to add 1 more here. So 4. Okay, pretty easy. So we did row 1, skip row 2. We got row 3, skip row 4, row 5. Oh, it's you. Hi, David. What are you doing home? Okay, so now I'm going to take my ribbons. We have 8 of each still left. And what I'm going to do, I folded them in half. And now I'm going to make little packets. Because on row 3, each zip tie is going to get the 2.5 inch and the 5/8 inch. So I'm going to make a packet. So I'm going to put, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm going to put the 5/8 right in the center of the 2.5 inch and flip it over. Okay, and I'm making myself little ribbon packets, 8 of them. Again, just prepping for the next row. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 1 more here. And of course I'm missing a ribbon tail because I always am missing a ribbon tail. So I need, unless it fell on the floor, no. So I need 1 more 14 inch, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we need 1 more 14 inch piece. Okay, so once you have your ribbon packets, what we're going to do is we're going to pre-fold them again. So I'll just do 4 for right now. So open it up. Like that. And just pinch it and flip it. And just put it to the side. So that's 1. 2. Yes, this ribbon is super gorgeous. It just adds a little bit of sparkle to our snowman. As the ribbon isn't even the star of the show, the snowman is. Okay, so I did 4. We'll start with that. We are going to do the exact same fold that we did. Okay, curl up, bring the bottom up to the middle, the top down, slightly over the bottom, scrunch up the middle, and take one of your ribbon bundles, put it in the middle, and I just turn it up, and I'm going to put this whole nub right in, just like that, about a 1/2 inch, into the zip tie and pull it. Okay, and I'll do that again. And you're putting it just right into the zip tie that's already preloaded in there. Now, if you do have a clothespin, and I used to put the clothespins in the kits, but I've been having clothespins on back order for over a year now from overseas, and they just still haven't come. So if you have a clothespin, you can just stick your mesh into your zip tie, then put your ribbon, the end of your ribbon where you folded it in, and then do it up around, just like that. Okay, and we're doing 8 of them all the way around. Yeah, you could absolutely start connecting your hands and stuff. I'm just going to do it at the end because it's just what I'm used to. And I did mark the back, so I just have to kind of lift up some of this mesh. So you can, again, take the nub, put it in about 1/2 inch, get the center of your ribbon bundle you put, that you flipped, and you want to make sure when you're preloading your board that you're not closing the zip ties too close to the board. You want to give yourself room to work with, so you're not trying to scrunch, you know, the nub right in there. This is going to be so pretty. The mesh is cut at 12 inches and the ribbons are 14. We did 28 pieces of 12-inch mesh and 16 pieces of 14-inch ribbon. Again, you can either do it, put the mesh in first. Did I do 4 already? 1, 2, 3. And then put your ribbon tail on top. Flip them both up. And stick the whole thing into the zip tie. And pull it tight. And then I tend to like to just put the mesh in. Now I got to fold my other 4 packets. So I'd like to fold them up. One. 2. Now, if you like this style and you didn't manage to get a kit, you can use any kind of plush attachment and find some ribbons and stuff that match your attachment, and you can do it the exact same way I'm doing it. Like I said, next week I do have 2 new kits coming out that are plush. They are 2 different elf ones. So, and I'll probably do it just the same as this, because it's very easy to do. So the way I like to do it is put my mesh in, and then put the end of my ribbon in, and then zip up the whole thing. So you'll figure out which way you like to do it. That's the way I like to do it. But I like to show different ways just in case. need your nails done. That's my dog walking around. She definitely needs her nails done. But the spa is really busy, so she couldn't get an appointment till beginning of November. Okay, we have 2 more. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We're making a super cute snowman wreath. Now, snowmans are super popular. Everybody loves a snowman. And you could probably see why I skipped row 2, because we really didn't need to put anything in there to make our wreath nice and full. And we also don't want it looking too busy. All right, last one on row 3. So again, you're only putting it in about a 1/2 inch or a fingertip, my fingertip's small, but 4 fingertips length. And we are done row 3. So we're going to go around and clip off all the zip tie tails. Now you can use the nippers to kind of pull it a little tighter and clip it if you don't squeeze it too hard. All right, there is row 3 done. And then row 5, we are going to put 4 pieces of mesh in there, and that's just going to help, oops, yeah, Lord, you got to clean up this craft area. That's just going to help with the sign, lifting the sign off, but we're not going to put any ribbon because you won't see it. So we're going to just put 4 pieces of the kerfuffles in. Just like that. And if you're new to this live, welcome. This is just a new way to do wreathing. You use a lot less materials this way, and like I said at the beginning, you can calculate much easier how much supplies you use, and everything on here except our snowman. You don't want to put the snowman out in the inclement weather. So I have a lot left. I'm going to use it all up. So I'm going to cut whatever I have left and put it into the middle. Good. I have actually 4 more pieces. So I used up the whole roll. Okay, so there's 4, and I do have, oh, I have 2 more pieces, which I'm going to put, I'll put in the shared hole here, and then directly across, just to use it up. So I'm going from this hole to this hole. We call it a shared hole because there's already zip ties in it. And then I'm going to put the other one right here. We do not want to waste. And the more mesh in the center will help the sign sit up a little better. So I'll put one in here. And one in here. Alrighty, the actual base of our wreath is done. And now we're just going to add our attachment. So I'm going to go around and clip all these off. Alrighty. And I used up all the mesh. That's all I have left, which makes me happy. Okay, so when you flip it over, you guys did see at the beginning, I did mark where I was putting each attachment. Okay, so this is our top. So let's go ahead and put a zip tie from this hole to this hole and make a hanger. Oops. Flip it around. Okay. And right below, this is where I'm going to attach my sign. So I'm just going to put a zip tie going down. This is on row 2. Just place it down. And then we have our head. Okay, so here's our head. On the back of the head, I'm going to take the top wire off. Okay, just pull it out. Now you can save this for another project, but we don't need the top. And I'm going to cut a little tag off. Alrighty. And we have the 2 side ones. Now these literally are just poked through the felt. So hopefully yours aren't like too close or whatever, but you can move them, okay? And I am going to be putting one side of this wire through one side and then the other through the other side. Okay. Just opening, getting them ready to go. Now it's pretty light. I would say you could just glue it if you want, because it is fairly light. Okay, so I'm just going to move these just up a little so I can see where my holes are. And you can see right there are the 2 holes I'm going to do with my head. And there's my zip tie for my sign. So I'm going to take each end of the wire and I'm just going to go right through the piece of this mesh just to keep it down, or you can just flip the mesh up and then put the holes, put the wire through the holes. It's up to you. Okay, so you're going to put it through the hole and make sure you're grabbing it from behind. There's one. Give it a little twist, not tight, just so it doesn't undo when you go to put the other one in. So again, There's the 2 holes, and I'll flip it over and you'll see exactly where I'm going with these. Good twist. Okay, and his head is on. We're going to move these around so you can actually see them without the ribbons being under his head. So they're kind of to the side of him. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. And there it is, the 2 head pieces. So now I can pull it a little bit tighter. So I pull the wire until I feel some resistance. And then once I do, give it a twist. Same on this side. Pull it till you get some resistance, and then give it a twist. And his head is on there. And we're going to make sure that our ribbons are all pulled out. Super cute. Okay, his head's on. Now we'll continue on here and we'll put the sign on. And his legs in his hands. So I had already put that zip tie in right there. You're going to take this top of your sign with the string and just go and attach it with that zip tie that you just... Now don't do it tight because you want to adjust your sign. So I want my sign sort of in the middle because I am going to put a really cute bow right here. So I think that's good enough. You don't need, like I said, you don't need to have it tight. Alrighty. You can move this ribbon over top of, there we go. Just moving these right over top of the string, so you don't even see the string, except for right here. Okay, there we go. We'll glue his little scarf onto the sign. All right, so when we flip it over, I'm going to put his one leg right there and one leg right there. So again, I'm just going to flip up. One leg is going right here, and make sure they're facing the right way, because people will tell you that your hands and your legs are the wrong way if they are. So again, you're going to take the 2 wire pieces and just go down the 2 holes, grab it in the back, and just give it a light twist. And then you're going to do the same with this one. Now these wires are a pain in the tuchus, but they are wired all the way down, so you can bend and make his legs, you know, fun. So lift up your mesh, and we're going down the 2 holes, and I'll flip it over. You guys can see. Guys, we had our October kit craze. November kit craze is coming as well, just as big as the October kit craze, so keep an eye out. All right, so now we're going to flip it over, and again I'm going to pull the leg wire just till I feel a little bit of resistance and give it a twist. Okay, same with here. Now, if you don't want to fool around with this wire stuff, you can just glue them. You can just glue the pieces on if you want. Okay, so now the legs look like it's coming out of a wreath. And we'll make his legs bow-legged. And you'll fart around with the ribbons constantly until we're done. All right, legs, right way, hands now. Now the hands are really small. You can, like I said, you can put the hands into the zip ties with the wires. I tend to just like to glue the hands to the side of the sign. So that's what I'm going to do. However, if you do want to make sure the thumbs are the right way, go down the holes. Actually, I probably should just do it this way so I'm teaching it correctly. Give it a twist. And then the other hand. I guess normally I would just, if it was just for me and I wasn't teaching and it wasn't a kit, I would just glue them. And there we go. Now these two, you don't want to do too tight because we want the hands to look like it's holding the sign. So I don't want them too, I'm not pulling them till I get resistance. I'm just kind of twisting them so I have room to spare. Like that. Put the ribbons. And beside the hand, and then I'll just glue the sign right that, and we'll do the same over here. Make sure your ribbons and everything is really nice because you just spent all that work cutting and folding ribbons. You want to make sure that you can see them, right? Where's the other side? There it is, stuck under the, there we go. So we will go around and do all of our ribbon tails properly. Alrighty. So I am going to take a little bit of glue. And just put a little bit of glue just like where it's going to line up on the sign. Just like that. And just put it kind of over top. So it looks like he's holding on to it. It is cute, isn't it? It's pretty simple to make too. The nice thing with the boards is everything lines up. So you don't have to kind of guess where the legs go to make sure that it lines up or anything. The holes are all parallel to each other. So you definitely takes the guessing out of everything. This one's a little too tight. There we go. There we go. So now he's holding his sign. Okay, so I'm going to make a little bow just to put under the sign to go in this spot. And then we have to cut off all these wires in the back, which I really hate doing. So, and that's a main reason as well that I glue a lot of my attachments right on. Or you can take the wires out and replace them with pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners are a little more friendly on your hands. And so far he is 27 inches this way, and then with his feet and his hat, you're looking at about 30, 29, 30 inches that way. We'll just glue his scarf maybe just right there so it's not hanging in the sign. Pulling out our ribbon tails, make it look pretty. Okay, and now I'm just going to make a bow, a simple bow, to just put right here. So I'm not, maybe I'll just use this one. See how much we have left. Oh, we have lots left. And we have lots left of this one too. So we didn't use a ton. Maybe. And I think I'll just use my little bow maker. Maybe I will just do, sorry guys, I'm just going to figure out what size. I might just make a cheater bow. For those of you that don't have a bow maker. Oh, it's a little big. So that was 11, so 9. So cut a piece of the 2.5 inch at 18 inches. We're going to make a cheater bow for those of you that don't have bow makers. Okay, I have an 18-inch piece. I'm going to fold it in half. And this is the 2.5 inch. So I can find the center. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue. And I'm just going to put a bead of glue just past that halfway. And bring the right side of the ribbon over. And then I'm going to do the same thing, just a little past the halfway mark. And bring this side over. So that's going to be the back side of my bow. Now you can add tails if you want. I don't know if I need to. No, I'm just going to leave just to have the backdrop. This is going to be the main part of my bow for the back. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this, except I'm going to have the tails coming out. So let's cut a piece, let's say 20 inches. Okay, so this piece we're going to fold in half. And now if you have a bow maker, by all means use your bow maker. It's much easier. This is just if you don't have a bow maker, it's an easy way to make a bow. So this is going to be the little tails from my bow. And then I'm going to take and fold, let me see, let's cut, how about 17-inch pieces since this is 18. I'm going to cut 17-inch piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have more left. Actually, maybe I'll do, I'm just going to use the rest of this up because there's only that much left, so I might as well use it up. Perfect. So this is just like, this is called, I call it my cheater bow. So I got the tails in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces at 17 inches. I'm just going to move this off the table so you guys can actually see. All right, again, I'm going to fold each piece in half. Again, feel free to use your bow maker and make a gorgeous bow. Okay, so we got those pieces. Now I'm going to open it up. And again, we'll do the exact same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just past the halfway. Bring the right one up. And then put it to the side. And we're going to do each one of them like that. Now, if you don't have a glue gun, you can literally, I'll show you for the next one, you can just go quite a bit past the halfway mark to make sure that that middle of the ribbon you cut. So if you didn't have glue, you would want to go a lot further past the halfway mark, probably a whole inch, to make sure when you do zip tie and put your pipe cleaner in that it is going to be pinched in the middle and your loops won't come out. Okay, but I just use glue, hot glue. Ouch, that hurt. Glue sticks. Holy crap. I don't know what that was. There they go. Sorry, everybody else's dogs are going to be barking now. I'm sorry. Lolly must be home. Okay, last one. So I did 6 pieces. You really don't have to do 6 pieces. I just was using up the rest. Okay, so once you got that done, we're going to flip it so the seam, you can't even really tell. The seam is at the bottom, and we're just going to pile each one kind of in X formations with the middle sections over top of each other. Okay. You're going to get a zip tie and your pipe cleaner. So grab a zip tie. I'm going to put this bottom one with the seam down on top of my zip tie right down the middle. Okay, like that. Pinch it. Actually, put a little bit of glue in between so it stays pinched. And then we're going to put this tail right there. And this whole stack we just made right on top of the middle. And come around with the zip tie. Now you could just use the pipe cleaner going around it. I like to have the zip ties in the center because it keeps it nice and tight. So just come around. Okay, like that. Okay, this is my cheater bow. When you don't have a bow maker and can't make a hand bow. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to bring the head of the zip tie to the back of the bow. And I'm going to put the pipe cleaner through the back of the zip tie. and then tighten it super tight. Okay, pull, pull, pull. Squeeze that middle and tighten as hard as you can. Okay? And then we're going to cut this off. And we're going to have a super cute, fluffy bow. All right, I'm going to get my wreath right here. And it is going in the middle, right below his sign. So where I'm putting it is right in the center here. So there's already a zip tie there. I'm putting it right over top of that zip tie because that is the middle underneath the sign. So you just go down one hole and go down the other hole with each side of the pipe cleaner. And that is the center of your wreath. Like I said, you do not have to glue each section if you just fold it over properly up to your bow, but it's just a good way to make a little cheater bow. Okay, you don't want to pull it too down into the wreath because we want it sticking up just a bit. Give it a twist on the back, it stays, and then we're going to open all these loops. So don't be scared to pull a little bit. We did glue them. However, if you didn't glue them, don't pull too hard because you will pull the centers out. Here's our tails. And again, you can, I can't stress this enough, you can totally make this your own. You can add stuff to it. You don't have to put a bow. You don't have to, you know, use all this ribbon that I did. You can totally make it whatever you want. And just open up all your loops and move them around so they're and we got a loopy, cute loopy bow just underneath the sign. Okay. Takes a little bit longer that way than an actual bow maker would take, but it still works. And we just have to finish off the back. We'll clean up the back and then pull all our tails out properly. And this, my friends, is a very cute snowman wreath that anybody would love to put on their door. Let's roll these. Of course, I'll fix these once I put it on my door. The best place to fix anything is put it on your door, fix it, take a picture, look at the picture, because the picture you'll see any imperfections or any ribbon that you need to be moved or anything like that, right? And then just take your time doing it. Let's flip this over. Now we got to clean up all this. So what you're going to do is for the pipe cleaners, you're going to take off the extra. This is for the bow. Bring it back down the holes, just like that. Now these suckers, they're a little thicker than pipe cleaners, but you cut the excess off and you're going to stick the pointed parts back down the holes, just like that. And then you can rub off all your little things that you wrote on the back. I will be gluing, putting some hot glue over top of these wire things. So I do put a little bit of glue to make like a bumper almost over top of the wire, so it doesn't scratch anybody's door. So put a little dab of glue just over top, just like that, and it makes a rubber bumper. So once it's dry, there's nothing that's going to scratch it. Alrighty, so I'll finish off these in a few minutes. And let's cut this hanging thing off. And there we go. A really full, big old snowman. Cute kit. Let's put his, I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the back of his scarf. And we'll just put his scarf over here so it stays. This part is short, so it doesn't matter. Alrighty, my friends, that's it. That is how I put my little snowman guy together. I can't wait to see what you guys do. You can do it the exact same as me, or you can totally go outside the box and do something different. You can add things to it if you want. Some ornaments if you want, but I think it's pretty full, just like it is, right? There we go. I need to move his hat out of his eyes. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little bit, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a dab of glue on his hat there and just kind of lift it up over his eyes. I'm also going to make a little bow with this ribbon to put on his hat to match. So I'm going to do, let's try 8 inches. I'm going to put a bow on his hat to match the rest of the wreath. I just cut an 8-inch piece. I'll fold it in half. And I'm just going to put a piece of this black leftover wire we just snipped off, just to hold it closed. I'm going to glue it to his hat. Might be too big. A little too big, but I'd rather it be too big than too short, then I'd have to do it again. There we go. And there we go. That's cute. Oh, I guess I should have put it more down here, but now I've already glued it, so. So you can add whatever you want into yours. Just an idea. Probably still a little bit too big, but you got it. You could even put some little bit of greenery. I have some floating around here. I'll probably add something to it. Anyways, that is it. Thank you guys for joining me. And I definitely will post the picture as soon as I'm finished primping it and getting everything in order and all the ribbons pulled out. And I definitely can't wait to see what yours looks like. All right, everybody, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. And I will be live again tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm making the modern farmhouse Christmas tree. I need to put little bells on his feet. Little bells would be cute. Anyways, okay, everybody, we'll talk to you.